All right, perfect. All right, so who am I? My name is Royal. I'm a paternity testing consultant. Here are the portfolio of brands that I've either started or acquired. So Assurance DNA was my first paternity testing agency that I
Mm.
started in 2021.
Okay.
Started Paternity University as well in later 2021. Acquired Any Lab Test now in 2023, and then acquired Arc Point Labs as well in a couple of months ago.
Uh-huh.
This is the portfolio of brands that I have. So this is the goal of Paternity University is to, and this is actually what's happening, is to build a community of high quality paternity testing consultants across the US. And that was the exact goal of what I wanted
Uh-huh.
in the beginning when I first started. And so now what is happening is that students in different cities sometimes will work with each other on paternity tests. Like there may be a collection that a student needs to do in Detroit. There's a student in
Mm.
Detroit. So, the student in Nashville will hook up with the student in Detroit. They'll communicate and they will conduct the paternity test for the party that's in Detroit and for the party that's in Nashville. They work with each other, in within
Uh-huh.
Paternity University. It's a whole community of DNA agency owners as well as an educational community as well. So that was the
Okay.
goal, and that is actually what's happening now.
Okay.
So, um, I see that somebody just joined on. Well, probably they're gonna probably join. Oh, here we go.
Uh-huh.
Somebody just joined on. Um, So I want to go ahead and ask, what's your why? Like, why do you, and you can type it in the chat, you can answer it real quick. Keep it kind of shorter because this is like a recorded webinar, so I don't want the answers to go for too long. But essentially think about this, and I can let you guys think about it and then answer why do you want to start a business? What's your goal? And what do you think is needed to achieve that goal? That's just something to chew on while I go back. So Josie, how are you doing? I see that you just came on. How are you doing? Oh wait, you may not be able to hear me. You don't have your mic on. That's okay. So we got Josie on. Um, so going from there, and we're gonna go back to the why in a second, okay? Why this business? Why specifically paternity testing? Okay. Paternity tests are always needed. There's always some form of, hey, there's infidelity that happens, or there's confusion, or whatever the situation may be. That's always going to happen because humans are always going to do what humans do. Okay.
Mhm.
So therefore, it's not like it's going away. It's not like paternity testing is going away. Okay. Um, it's not hard to stand out from the competition as well with paternity testing. The easiest thing to do, honestly, is to answer the phone and be professional. That's the easiest thing that you could possibly do is to answer the phone and be professional in this business. It's scalable, meaning that you can increase ads, you can open up other like locations in your city to kind of geographically cover different areas of your city. You can grow it. You can add different other services to paternity once you get good at paternity, such as notary, such as fingerprinting, such as whatever. People add different services. And so it's something that you can grow over time. You can make some pretty solid money. It goes up and down because that's how business is, but you can make between 200 to up to 1,800 max, depending on the type of test with some pretty solid margins. And then also the last thing that a lot of people care about is that you can run your business from anywhere. It's kind of like location independent. As long as if you're out of town or something like that or on vacation, then you may be able to like use a collector or something like that. Okay. Uh-oh, we got a hot mic here. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So what is paternity testing? What is DNA paternity testing? What is that? All right. It determines the biological relationship between a father and a child. Essentially, that's what that paternity, pater, the root word paternity, meaning father. All right. And then there's other DNA tests that you can do too, such as like a grandparent, an avuncular, a siblingship test, a deceased test that may not always exactly involve an alleged father himself, but it could involve someone else. So if there is paternity in question, you can test other people in the family to get that answer. Does anybody have any questions so far? Feel free to ask whatever you want. I'm probably going to touch on it later on in the presentation, but feel free so I don't feel like I'm just talking at you guys. So does anybody have any questions so far, Josie or Jacqueline?
Hi, Royal. Hi, Jacqueline. I don't know if you're going to touch on it later, but I did want to talk about the tax situation when you open a business.
I wouldn't be able to give advice on that because I'm not an accountant.
Oh, okay, okay,
I don't give legal or accounting advice because I am not qualified to do that. So I wouldn't even,
right.
everybody's tax situation is different. Um, and so I don't touch that one because I don't want to be held liable for anything. I took Roll's advice and then, yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. Um, okay. So, 1 in 3 men who get a paternity. This is a stat from DDC some years ago. I think in like 2007 or so. So maybe that stat has gone up since then. But 1 in 3 men who get a paternity test are not the father. All right. So 1 in 3 men who actually get the paternity, in my experience, is more like 1 in 5 or so. Like 20% of men who actually get one are not the alleged father. So therefore, there's a statistical challenge there. You know, you want to be able to get in front of the people who are looking for paternity tests. That's what your role is going to be. All right. Why do people get DNA tests? All right. Peace of mind or legal reasons or a combination of both. All right. Peace of mind, they just want to know, don't want to use it for court, don't want to take anything, don't want to use it for legal reasons or anything. They just want to know, get it out the way, solve the question. That's that. That's all. All right. Legal reasons is what you do when you fill out something called a chain of custody. And that makes it for those reasons as you see right here. Custody, child support, inheritance, immigration, social security, legal reasons, estate, stuff like that. Okay. That's the reasons, that's the 2 reasons why. And I don't really foresee like the US legal system drastically changing in the coming years for paternity. I don't foresee that happening to where it can affect paternity testing business. So therefore, I believe that it's always going to remain relatively steady. It may have some spikes here and there due to like local political stuff. All right. What's the difference between a collector and an agency owner, like a DNA agency owner? All right. So a collector, if you're just only a collector, that means you're more than likely just kind of waiting for someone to call you, like another DNA agency or a laboratory to call you to say, can you collect samples for me? You know, this one random time, maybe once a month or once every other month or something like that, unless you prove otherwise and you can really constantly collect samples. But it all depends. If you're just a collector, you're waiting on another business to call you because they have already made a sale in your area and they just don't have brick and mortar. They don't have places where they can send people. So they're going to call you to just kind of collect for them and they'll pay you $50 or $100 or whatever every once in a while. Okay. Um, Okay, so and then an agency owner is someone who is like partnered with a DNA laboratory. Okay, that's someone who has the ability to resell paternity testing services. You know, as your own business, you're not waiting on a business to call you. You go out and hunt for your clients. All right, you go out there and get in front of people. You talk to people. You set up advertising and have people call you to solve their paternity issue. Okay. So you're the point of contact, and then you collect the samples from them and send the samples directly to the lab. You know, you take the payment. So you take the 300, 400, $600 or whatever it may be. And then you pay the laboratory their fee and then you keep the rest as profit instead of just waiting around for someone to call you as a collector. Okay. That's kind of the difference. All right. Okay. So, what do you need to start a DNA testing business? What do you need to start? All right. The first one, the reason why I have it in bold, red, and italics, all right, is to determine if this is something that you truly want to do. All right. You have to be in the mindset of being a professional. All right. You got to be a professional. You got to be able to answer the phone, speak intelligently and clearly when you're describing services. You don't want to seem like you're janky or like some, one horse town place. All right. And you have to determine if this is something that you really want to do. Because kind of once you start this and start getting clients, um, this is not something that you just shut down. I mean, if you kind of start to gain a reputation as the place to get paternity testing, well, people are going to keep coming to you and referring their friends. You don't want to like all of a sudden be like, I don't want to do this for one summer and I'm done. So that's it. I shut it down. And now you're leaving a bunch of people out to dry, or they'll just find somebody else. That's fine. Whatever. All right. So to start the business, all right, deciding your name, okay. Make a one-page business plan. You can go on ChatGPT and ask it to make you a business plan for a paternity testing business in your area. It'll tell you kind of pretty much what to do. Pretty accurate. You want to get your LLC, get your EIN, the admin business stuff that you should do. Of course, if you have questions about taxes or legal stuff, you need to speak to an accountant or a lawyer about that. I am not qualified to give legal or financial advice. All right. Jacqueline, do you have any questions so far? Do you have any?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Not right now.
Okay, cool. So there's competition in your area. A lot of people ask, what about the competition? What about saturation? I'm in Houston. I'm in Atlanta. Most people are Houston, Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, New Jersey, whatever, right? What about all this competition? To be honest, most of the quote unquote competition in your area, they don't even answer the phone to even start off with. They don't answer the phone. So, it's not, too terribly difficult to penetrate your market if other places just don't answer the phone and they take forever to answer the phone. It's, that you call the phone system and it's like, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this, whatever. Right. A lot of people just want to talk directly to somebody. So there that is. So when you research the competition, you want to contact other places and kind of just act like a client. Just do a little bit of what we call in the military reconnaissance, just see, yeah, how are they talking to you? How many Google reviews do they have? Are they open on weekends? That's a major one. What lab are they using? If you want to ask, are they using an accredited laboratory? What are their prices? If you ask, hey, how much do you charge for a paternity test? How do they walk you through that? Or they just kind of just tell you the price? Do they walk you through? Do they ask questions? You want to be able to like determine that. So determine kind of in your area what kind of folks are in your area. All right. And then, this is the stuff that everybody wants to ask, how much can you charge? And this is generally between what you can charge right here. Okay. So it depends on the service you're offering. Okay. Legal, that's the price. Informational, here you go. These are generally what you can charge. And then the laboratories are going to charge you a fee when you send the samples in to run the samples. They're going to charge you a fee and then you keep the profit. That's how this works. So you charge the client 350, $400 or whatever for the paternity test. They come in, get their, samples taken. You send the samples off to the laboratory. The laboratory then, charges you a fee when they run the samples. And then, you keep the profit. You release the results when the results are ready. That's essentially it. That's pretty much it. Okay. How do you market? Now, a lot of people ask this as well. This is a common question that most people ask me on my YouTube videos, but how do you market? The first way is Google Ads. So putting your ads on Google where people are searching for paternity testing in your area. You want to place yourself, using Google Ads to place yourself where people can find you. All right. So you want to be searchable and findable. That's key. Search engine optimization, we can talk about that another time. It's making your website and making your Google business page seeable, findable on Google. Passing out cards to attorneys, to labor and delivery sections, to OBGYNs, setting up your social media and doing some education on social media professionally, of course. Going to networking events, things like that are how you market your services, because you essentially will be trained to be a private consultant for this. And you want to be able to be everywhere, after a certain point in time. All right. I think I kind of answered this question already, but is DNA testing saturated? Yes and no. So there's a lot of places that offer it. A lot of people bought courses, and that's fine. Bought courses, my course, the other young lady's course, and set up their businesses. But a lot of people kind of, just don't answer the phone. They're just not. So you see them on Google, but they may not answer their phone, and the client can't even really get in touch with them. And so therefore, it's a lot of people, but the quality is low. So as long as you can kind of improve your quality and get above the quantity, then you're in business. All right. A lot of people ask this, how fast can I make money? When can I start making money? How soon does it take? Will it happen in 5 days, 10 days? It all depends. I would say generally within about 45 days, if someone takes themselves seriously and studies the content in the course and learns, you could get the ball rolling and start getting your first calls and get your first sale or so within 30 to 45 days. But you got to do the work. You have to do the work. You have to, all the information that you need to know is in Paternity University. And you just have to do the actual work. All right. So some of the keys to success, I always say always be, right? So always be marketing, learning, answering the phone, talking to clients, problem solving, educating yourself, and then building a strategy. So this is kind of like a top level webinar here. I wish there was more people on here. I would love for more folks to be on here to ask questions, but I'll hang on for a few minutes. But if you are interested, you will go to paternityuniversity.com. You can get the course from there. Right now, it is priced at $249, and it has like an immense amount of content. I can actually go into the course and show you how much content is in the course. So if you guys are interested, you can go to paternityuniversity.com and order the course. It has like 52 hours of information, 13 supporting documents, everything that you need. And when you get the course, you can get a free 45-minute one-on-one Zoom call with me. It's included in the course now. So you don't have to, pay for that in addition. It's included in the course, and you can use that one time, anytime that you want. So I'm going to technically end the recording here, and then Josie, you can ask me whatever question.